Welcome to another Impressions. I'm the Angry Raccoon, and Miraculous Ladybug, or Miraculous Tales of Ladybug and Cat Noir, is a surprisingly enjoyable and interesting cartoon. The show in question is a Japanese and French CGI animated series that premiered in South Korea back in September of 2015. This is not that uncommon for the world of animation and production. A lot of cartoons, even Western ones, have and are animated in countries like Japan and Korea, as they're the ones that add the finishing touches to the process of a cartoon animating. A bit off topic, but the more you know, I guess. Anyway, let's get back on track. What exactly makes this series so enjoyable and interesting? The plot centers around Marinette and Adrien, our teenage protagonists who lead double lives as the superheroes Ladybug and Cat Noir, as they are tasked with working together to save and protect the show's modern-day setting of Paris from the main villain Birdman, Hawkmoth, whose ultimate goal is to steal Ladybug and Cat Noir's power source, which are these rings and little talking characters that remind me of Navi from the Legend of Zelda series. By using his power of butterflies and black energy, called Akuma, he transforms the people of Paris into supervillains that will defeat Ladybug and Cat Noir for him. Okay, Hawkmoth, we're gonna have to come back to you. Basically, this show is the next or French Sailor Moon. It has the same themes and ideas, but for a new and slightly younger target audience of girls. Look at each one's costume transformation scene. They're parallel in a way. But that's not the only similarity between shows, there's one more, but let's talk about Miraculous's characters. Personally, I think the strongest element about this series is the characters and design. Let's start with Ladybug, aka Marinette. She's a sweet and shy character who always tries her best no matter what the task, especially as a college student studying fashion design. So I would say she's a good role model. Her classroom crush and fashion model Adrien is a pretty down-to-earth character for being a wealthy rich kid. I'm actually happy they didn't write him as a snob. He's popular with our cast of secondary characters who help ground the series in a school setting. He's really just your average kid, much like Marinette. And here's why I like this series. Like previously stated, Marinette loves Adrien but is too shy to tell him as he tends not to notice her. As their superhero personas, Cat Noir is very much in love with Ladybug, who acknowledges him flirting but is more focused on saving the day.
We can't stay stuck in this bubble together forever!
The contrasting personalities and chemistry between the two really sells the show for me, much like the relationship in Sailor Moon with Tuxedo Mask. Another similarity between shows. Being a superhero show, I have to talk about the costumes. I freaking love the designs and details put into these costumes, including the villains. You can see a lot of time and effort went into the look of each costume, especially our two main heroes. As an example, if you look closely at Ladybug's costume, you can see a honeycomb texture, which is a nice touch. Although there's something about her costume that bothers me. It's too plain and simple compared to Cat Noir's in my opinion. His costume has claws, cat eyes, belt-like tail, and a bell collar zipper. It's better designed, which I find odd because she's the main character. But at least you can tell what they're meant to be. When I look at Ladybug's costume, I see a Cirque du Soleil theme. And with Cat Noir, I see more Catwoman from Tim Burton's Batman Returns or Catgirl. And the villains are just as good. A few worthy mentions like Timebreaker, the Pharaoh, Lady Wi-Fi, Stormy Weather, and Mr. Pigeon. Yeah, he's my favourite. All have great costumes and really make each episode fun with a villain of the week structure, as you should have already realised this series does not take itself too seriously. Which is a good and bad thing, but let's talk about the animation real quick. Now, I wouldn't say Miraculous Ladybug is the best looking CGI animated series. See 2012's Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles show for that. But its animation is impressive in places. The show is fast paced in almost every way, from really well done fight scenes to character movements that can look a little weird sometimes. This show is overall very fluid when animated. But on the other hand, backgrounds leave something to the imagination and some character models don't look great. 3D animation is really tricky to master, so consider me impressed. My only negatives with this series is the main plot and structure. Every episode follows this structure. A character is down on their luck, an item of theirs is highlighted, Hawkmoth uses his powers and that item turns them into a villain, Ladybug figures out a plan to stop them, and Paris is saved.
What am I doing up here?
Count it!
This show really needs to change its pace before it gets boring. I mean, the fact that Hawkmoth keeps repeating this plan makes him look pretty stupid. You'd think he would make like Shaggy and Scooby and get a clue. If the series was to dive into its plot more and answer questions like, what are these Navi looking things? If the series goes more into its own lore, issue solved. And I'm aware that that could have already happened. I only watch a few episodes of any given show before writing an impressions, so here's hoping the series improves. Overall, I really like Miraculous Ladybug. I don't think it's within my target audience, but it's quite enjoyable. I see why a lot of people love it. The series speaks to a younger audience about friendship, love, and being yourself, as well as not letting anything change who you are. It's a fun and refreshing take on the superhero genre, which we could always do with more of. So if everything I've talked about sounds like something you might like, I would strongly recommend it.